they're all united in their condemnation up and down the board. Republicans, on the other hand, they're kind of applauding quietly or loudly. They say that James's cases have been political, and then they view this as a measure of accountability. Well, one prominent Republican in New York, Congressmember Elise Stefanik, who comes from the North Country, she called the charges, quote, long overdue. I think, Michael, the big takeaway, though, is that this makes James a national political figure again. You know, the Democratic Attorneys General Association said it's going to be raising money for her legal defense. Going forward, I expect that we're going to be hearing a lot more about this on national cable news programs in Washington and across the country.
WNYC's Jimmy Vielkheim. Jimmy, thank you.
Thanks, Michael.
WNYC support comes from Experience Montclair. The 14th annual Montclair Film Festival takes place October 17th through the 26th. Over 130 screenings and events, including a tribute to Spike Lee, hosted by Stephen Colbert. Tickets at montclairfilm.org.
The friendly nod from one dog walker to another, or the angry driver who cuts you off. Sure, they're small moments, but
as those moments accumulate, they might crystallize in this larger idea of what people are like generally, what people in our community are like. The other part is they reflect how we believe we are to other people.
The big impact of small social interactions. That's on the next On Point. Weeknights at 8 on WNYC.
It is 6:52. Coming up today on the Brian Lehrer Show, a plan to pay grandparents for helping with their grandkids. That's this morning at 10 on WNYC. We're still at 50 degrees right now in the city with clear skies, but we do have a coastal flood watch Sunday morning through Monday afternoon. Could be stormy this weekend. Sunny and 62 today, and then tomorrow slim chance of rain by noon, mostly cloudy and 68, and then rain likely on Sunday, cloudy and 63, and then Monday, Columbus Day, mid-afternoon showers and rain and 63.
What's a U.S. economy to do if foreign tourists feel unloved?
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by the Financial Times. Global news, geopolitics, and market data all in one place. Source FT. There's more at FT.com.
I'm David Brancaccio. The travel and tourism industry contributes $2.9 trillion to the U.S. economy, more even than the size of the automotive industry. But can travel and tourism thrive at a time the U.S. is working to overhaul border and trade policy? I'm just back from what had been a red-hot spot for tourism in America, Las Vegas, and found an economy that's being dealt some tough hands. Dinner time on a weeknight. There are cars at the lights at the corner of all corners, Las Vegas Boulevard and Flamingo Road. But traffic's a breeze. Next month, the big Formula One event should bring a surge of racing fans, and since it's Vegas, you'll always find some hubbub. Here's Ashley from Toledo.
I'm a big TikTok person, so everything says it's going to be dead here. It's a dying city, and we're like, it's not that dead.
So not Deadsville, but using the August figures, the number of visitors is down 6.7% from a year earlier. And under the video canopy covering Fremont Street downtown, foot traffic is also sparse. Leah and class are part of a Dutch and Belgian tour group out sipping refreshment. And they came, but
some people of our group, they skipped the trip because the situation here in the U.S.
You know, the situation, hardened borders and a global trade war, higher fees to come into the U.S. and other restrictions for people without U.S. passports. For instance, the early fall has typically been prime time for people from Mexico and points south to come, but this time many Latin-themed events got canceled. As for that part of North America, President Trump talks of adding to the United States.
Canada's down, probably the most significant of anyone, by some measures down 30% over where they were a year or two ago. But Canadians make up about 3 to 3.5% of all the visitors that come to Las Vegas. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's an impact.
Jeremy Aguero of Applied Analysis, a Las Vegas-based research and consulting firm. Among the down spots, what people here call the 3 C's, visitors from Canada. China, with its property market mess hitting disposable incomes there, and one more C, not a country, but the adjacent state.
People from California. And with all these rates and deportation and all these anti-immigrant message that is going on right now, people, they don't feel good coming in here. They're fearful.
Deanna Valles is president of the Culinary Workers Union, Las Vegas Local 226.
We're seeing layoffs. We're seeing restaurant closures. People are nervous just to go to the grocery store. Yeah, the people are nervous just to go to church. Even if you are documented people in this country, because you never know what's going to happen, is your profile. When we heard people saying that they're going to deport criminals, we're okay about that. Our members are not okay to deporting people, working people, just because the way they look.
Another shift engineered in Washington that's percolating into every regional economy, this one included, are new import taxes, the tariffs. Juani Romero opened 7 high-design cafes in Las Vegas called Mothership Coffee Roasters.
Oh my goodness. The majority of coffee is from Brazil. And it's like, just because like the president doesn't like the way the Brazilian president is talking to him, we're going to impose a 50% tariff and like literally change everything overnight.
Mothership has deals with women-owned suppliers of raw beans in Brazil, relationships not easily switched to lower tariff countries.
The most important thing is like we care from beginning to end, and that's what makes coffee really cool and relevant. But with these things going on, a lot of roasters aren't able to care as much because prices are going up. They can't afford to care and charge their customer. Like, you can't charge your customer $40 for a bag of coffee. That's insane.
Again, data man Jeremy Aguero.
David, any of these things, if it was just one of them, you and I wouldn't be even talking. But the combination of conflict in Washington, D.C., conflict around the world, the fact that consumers are feeling uncertain, all of that is converging today into this very difficult circumstance that we see ourselves in. Do I think it's permanent, like structurally unsound? No, I do not.
We also talked to a longtime waiter at one of the big casino hotels about how he reads the economy. The Marketplace Morning podcast will have that later this morning. Markets S&P futures are steady, I would say, ahead of an October reading on U.S. consumer sentiment. Dominion Voting Systems of Canada has been purchased by a Missouri-based firm that sells a popular election software program. The purchase price not disclosed yet. The buyer of Dominion will be called Liberty Vote and is owned by Scott Leyendecker, a tech CEO with multiple connections to Republican officials. President Trump had made baseless claims against Dominion about election rigging in 2020. Fox News had paid Dominion $787 million to settle defamation claims. Newsmax paid $67 million. The new company focuses on paper-based ballots, which remain a common vote tallying system in America because auditing is more straightforward.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Palo Alto Networks. Palo Alto Networks delivers what's next in cybersecurity innovation to protect today's digital way of life. Learn more at paloaltonetworks.com.
The U.S. has finalized its bailout of Argentina's currency, the peso, a $20 billion swap to help prop up the finances of a country run by a conservative president. The BBC's Ione Wells has that.
Javier Milei has brought down Argentina's previously sky-high inflation and deficit through a program of radical public spending cuts and deregulation. That had pleased the markets, but now things have started to slip. Mr. Milei's party got a trouncing in recent provincial elections ahead of further midterm elections later this month, suggesting some are tiring of his austerity measures. And he's been keeping inflation at bay by propping up the peso and draining reserves at a time when Argentina owes eye-watering debts. The markets have been spooked, fearing that a financial crisis could be imminent and that Mr. Milei is losing political support.
Ione Wells, BBC. And business of sports, the NBA is just now returning to China for the first time since 2019. It's 2 preseason games today and Sunday between the Brooklyn Nets and the Phoenix Suns at an arena in Macau's Venetian Casino and Hotel. NBA China is estimated to be a $5 billion business at this point. The NBA stopped playing in China after the Houston Rockets GM at the time posted a tweet in support of pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong. I'm David Brancaccio, Marketplace Morning Report from APM, American Public Media.